Yeah, you can let it get all the way on if you want, so that we can actually see it. I should put my glasses on and that will help. Yeah, I think that's about as far as it's gonna get.
Okay, so hi guys, I'm Ashley Garcia and my American artist is Etta James, and her real name is James Etta Hawkins, if you guys didn't know, and she's the queen of soul. Okay, so her childhood, she was born January 25th, 1938 in Los Angeles to a 14-year-old mother, and because she was 14, another thing about her mom was that she was a drug addict at 14 too. So she put her in foster care, and she was in there until she was 12. And during her foster care times and even afterwards, she would live with like friends and relatives. So her career, when she was 5, she began singing in church choir, and the people that she was living with thought she was like really good, and so she kind of like gave an ultimatum to the church, and it's the St. Baptist Church in Los Angeles, and they basically told them, like, if you want Etta to sing at church, you gotta pay her. But then the church was like, nah. So then she got her own producer, and Johnny Otis, that a famous rhythm and band, blues band leader. And she created the Creolettes when she was 15, and I was just like a really small, like, girl group, just like singing their hearts out. And at this time, she actually moved back with her birth mother and kind of went to the stage of like rebellion, and was like, yeah, I'm gonna create this. But her mom like wasn't really supportive of her at first, but then she was later. And later in her career, she was signed to Chess Records, and even before that, she would get paid like $100 like performance, and she would do that. And Chess Records was a really big like record company. It was like really Motown and had tons and tons of like famous people like signed to it, like Muddy Waters, Chuck Berry, etc. So her trademark, like if you can hear the music, this is her, of course. This is her, like, her trademark is that she would sing with raw emotion, and she would like express like the feelings that she would feel, and a lot of her songs have to do with pain and like heartbreak, but then there's other songs that have to do with love, and it definitely touched the hearts and souls of many, because like, here's some quick photos. This is Etta singing. She was really iconic for her bleach blonde hair and dark pencil and eyebrows. Christina Aguilera. This is her album cover. Just a little picture. And that's her family. And this is her husband, artist Mills. And that is her granddaughter. So her influences, she has like a really broad range of influences, because she was like so pure in what she did and so like real. And she influenced famous singers like Beyonce, Amy Winehouse, Adele, R. Kelly, etc. And it inspired Cadillac Records, which is a movie about her. And the actual main character, Etta, is played by Beyonce. So we're going to watch a little bit of that.
I'm going to get you back in here.
Yeah, you heard me? We're ready to say something.
You're always going to sell, baby. Cut.
What's going on, sweet baby girl?
It's mine, Doc. You ain't woman enough for that song.
Well, I'm a plenty woman.
Oh, yeah? And that's what's the best about being in love. You know what that is?
I know about love.
Yeah? Motherfucker ever walk out on you? Huh? Fucking not only walk out on you.
was or Harrah-Ferguson was the producer, the manager of Chess Records, and the whole thing about the movie was that he didn't Muddy Waters was the guy sleeping, and he kind of like brought Etta into the business and like kind of wanted to show the manager that she could do it, and he didn't really believe her at first because like it was kind of like it wasn't like normal to have this kind of like faith in a black woman or like African American woman, and he was impressed. So he definitely signed her, and they bridged racial gaps. Oh, another reason why she's influential is that she bridged racial gaps because she was at the peak of her fame. It was in a time of deep segregation in the South, and her music touched souls of everybody, not just like of her own descent, but of like other people. And show that we have Christina Aguilera. Free of.
So many singers have touched my soul, but few so deeply as the great Etta James. To me, she is the queen of blues and one of the most soulful vocalists since the legendary Billie Holiday herself. This next song will always be Etta's, of course. I'm just privileged to borrow it for a little while. This goes out to Etta and to all the great women singers who broke down barriers and set the stage for all of us who follow.
Music culture. And okay, so she's dead. What is that? Yeah. Struggles like a lot of like famous like people and musicians. She struggled with heroin all her life, and a lot of people said that kind of like made her who she is. Especially her son Danto. He said in an interview that like addiction was a part of her life, and she like produced music while she was addicted, and you could like definitely tell. Well, I don't know if you could tell, but I could tell because I listened to her a lot. But you could tell that she has that kind of like regret that she did it in like her voice. Like I don't know if that makes sense. It was like painful. I don't know. But she died Friday, January 20th, 2012, because she was diagnosed with leukemia in 2010. But and she was told that she was going to get better, but she passed away due to complications. And she also struggled with Alzheimer's disease. Okay, so she's remembered today by having her own style, as well as influences, and she was, her style was like raspy and raw, meaning like she would care less about like hitting the note right directly in the middle of the pitch, and she would focus more on like what she was singing about, if that makes sense. Like if she was singing like a happy song, then she would like have like a more upbeaty like voice per se. Like it would just be more like happy to listen to, and then if she was singing about like heartbreak or like sad things, she would have like a more like deeper drawn emotion and cut time, like meaning that she wouldn't like start on beat a lot. And I'll show you this in the video. she kind of like does her own like little deep riffs, and they're non-time at all.
When I saw you and that girl talking, babe, something deep down in my soul said, go on and cry, girl. When I saw you and that same girl walking fast, and I would rather be a blind girl, babe, than to see you walk away from me, babe. Cause you see, I love you so much, I don't wanna watch you leave me, babe. And another thing is, I just don't wanna be free, no, babe. Now listen, I was just sitting here thinking, yeah, about your sweet kiss,
War and your warm embrace, babe.
Okay, so that is her, and you can tell that she's just kind of, I can tell that, hopefully you guys can tell too, that she was very like pure in what she was singing, and she was like touching into her like emotional state, if that makes sense, like where she would put out a kind of like sad and more like relatable thing, like, I don't know, who's ever gone through heartbreak? Nobody? Awkward, like, okay, okay, but, I don't know, you could just like relate to her sometimes. If you were having a bad day, or, yeah, if you're just having a bad day and you're like, wow, I'm just going to listen to some sad music, I would listen to this. Okay, so for my emulation, I made a video on the song At Last. I took YouTube covers of it and made it all into one.
Miss Etta James, a force of nature, music's original bad girl. With your platinum hair, wildcat eyes, your Fellini-esque sexuality and dangerous voice. A voice that could be raspy with hardness of pain and turn into silk on the drop of a dime. The master of jazz, blues, R&B, and rock and roll. We celebrate your unapologetic boldness, your genius and innovation. Thank you, Etta James.
we're in heaven. We're in heaven. For you are mine.
And like all the people and
Thank you, Ash.